14 AMP. Yeah, looks good. Looks like a nice entrance. Good first block. Just look at the positioning of Otto and Matthew. That's a really nice distance there, guys, at the end of the 14. I really like that turn into the 14. I think it's the right choice if you can get it done right. But the only problem with that is, well, it's the right choice to try it, is you got to learn the exact shift out, and it's like a little shift away from Yora and then a turn. And it looks like towards the end you really dial it in. It takes a couple of times to figure out where it is. You know, there's the over rotation. You can see what happens there. And it's almost like you want to preempt it because you feel like you're lost. But don't forget, you're taking the shorter turn for a reason, so you don't have to rush it. Normally, you'd be taking, you have the feeling on outside center that you've got to rush that turn to a 14 because it's normally the long turn that you're doing. This is the short turn. Take your time. Yora has to match you, right? And as you can see, you're actually beating Yora. So I would say understand why you're taking this short turn, and therefore you can move in conjunction with Yora. And that's what you start to do now, is you actually start to open up your eyes and get a little bit of communication with Yora. A little bit close on that one. It's all good though. And that's kind of the key thing to take away on this jump, is that move from the P to the 14. There we go. And it's kind of like, as I'm making this move, I don't stare at Yora because obviously that's going to keep my hips in place, but I notice where Yora is as I shift my center point out. There we go, just a little outside shift and then a slight rotation. Beautiful build there into the 14, and then we start to get some nice builds from you guys. Matthew and Otto, just make sure please that you are working together at the end of the block. Otto, your in-place turns could do a little bit of work, please. If you can see, you're shifting your gaze a lot through the turn, and I think it's having quite a negative effect on your rotation. So have a little look here. There's the center point. See how much it shifts. And I think you can see why as well if you watch your head. Your head is really looking over the shoulder now, so you're making a right turn, remember. You're looking over your right shoulder, your left side is down. And that's going to shift you to the left. There we go. So keep your shoulders level, use your arms and legs like the blades of a propeller, and allow the air to rotate you rather than trying to force yourself around or by looking too much. And these little reminders, guys, on basic skills, they're the things that you can work on. You know, when you have a little bit of chance at the end of a session or at the beginning, or just say hey to the guys, can we please do a little session where I work on something? Or if you feel like you want to, just do it within the block itself as well. Especially when we're trying to go at these slightly slower paces, that gives you a chance to work on it. There we go, Otto, nice turn there. So still a little bit of that same thing. Your spine is much straighter, which is good, but still a little bit of an early head switch, which forces the left side down. If you walk that through now in your mind, you know, if you're turning to the right, but you lift your chin up, looking over your right shoulder. Notice how that drops your left elbow down. And that's what changes the center of rotation. Now just some real nice moves onto the 14 at the end.